Hey guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I'm creating my mockups for one of my stores here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So as you guys know, or maybe some of you don't, I'm not even sure, but I'm creating a e-commerce store here with a website called Sellfy. Now, I have a free membership in the link in the description box down below. You don't have to pay or anything like that to join. It will show you how to generate traffic to your store, of course. And the cool thing about this store is you can sell a lot of different things, physical and digital products. So a lot of you people who are selling on Etsy, what you can do is through every order, you can add an attachment as a digital file or send messages to each customer, sending them back to your original website. So that's a cool benefit to have if you're an Etsy seller. And if you're not an Etsy seller, I highly recommend you give it a shot, try it out, start working on Etsy. And once again, you can sell physical and digital products on Etsy, but you can also do it here on Sellfy. And the membership, by the way, has a free code that you can use that gives you 40% off your yearly membership for Sellfy. So if you want to give it a shot, try it out. But anyways, I was creating a design here, and I actually upscaled the design really big. Like, I'll actually show you what I'm talking about. The design is right here. And if you look here in the right-hand corner, it says 16,800 pixels by 9,200. I think the DPI, by the time I uploaded it, was like 480, something like that. And so I only have two different images here for the default mockups, which is this one and this one. It's okay, but it's not really selling the item, right? If I bring people over from Etsy to my shop here, and I want to sell it a little bit more, I want to get more attention, I want to have better mockups. I want things to look good on my page. So I actually created a mockup from scratch. Now, this is not it, but this is actually what triggered this video to be created. So first thing in my mockup that I personally wanted was I wanted sizing, right? I wanted to show the inches because people might look at the keyboard here and they might look at the mouse, the coffee cup, and they might say, okay, well, it's X size or it's this big or that big. I don't want them to predict. Even though it might be written in the description, there might be a sizing guide, there might be a whole lot of information. Not everybody reads product descriptions right away, but they do look at the images. And as you guys know, an image could tell you 1,000 words. So the cool thing about this is I kind of figured this out where you can create these mockups pretty much for free as an alternative to some of the softwares out there. Now, the software that I use for mockups, I'll leave a link in the description box for you to create an account. You can access some free mockups on there. It's called Placeit. Now, the thing that's cool about Placeit is, yes, it does have a lot of features, but to be honest, not everybody has access to Placeit. So the cool thing about Placeit is I can create videos of the product, and I actually want to show you one of these videos. So the video is actively playing right now. I just muted it. And you could see here, it's kind of like a live view of the mouse pad or the desk mat, whatever you want to call it. And it looks good. And I think I'm going to keep this store only at desk mats in terms of physical products. I don't know if I'll add anything else. We'll see if I do. But this is a pretty decent image, and I created a bunch here, and I'll actually show you, like I said, I have a t-shirt mockup style that I have here that I'll show you as well, but this was the first one that I created, and the first one was literally just an image, and then I took the mouse pad, and I put it on top of it, and then I added a shadow to it, and then I kind of added this line and increased the text. And I thought, what if I can make different mockups for different scenarios? Maybe because of the contrast, because of the colors, certain mockups can look better in certain situations. Like this one looks good because of the colors and everything like that. I actually prefer this one better, but there might be certain instances in time where this one will look better, or this one will look better. There's a lot of different instances. I even created this one here. So there's different kinds, right? And as you can see, these are elements that I'm adding in real time. And some people might not like this style mockup because they might be worried about people like screenshotting the actual image and then, you know, taking it for themselves and stealing it, which is totally a valid concern for sure. There's no question about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how I kind of did this and different alternatives that you could use. Now, something I want to say is with Sellfy, it has built in a print on demand company. So if I want to create a print on demand product, I click add product. Where does this look familiar to you from? Well, it's Printful. The products that are on Printful are exactly the same as the products on Sellfy. It's a behind the scenes company partnership that they don't kind of expose, but I'm telling you it is because it's obvious, right? And so on Printful, it does come with certain mock-ups of certain products, but then again, it's just simply not enough and it doesn't look good enough. And I'll show you what I mean. Like on the first product that I created for this desk mat here, which is the 36 by 18 is what I'm doing, it doesn't look good enough in terms of mock-ups. It just doesn't. I wish it did, but it just doesn't. And here's some information on the product. We have the product guidelines. You know, you can kind of read about it and all that kind of stuff. But if we go over here to one of the products that I created, which was, this was the original one. I created it live to show you guys how to get it done. You could see here, this is a mock-up, this is a mock-up, and this is a mock-up. It's cool, but it's just simply not enough for me personally. And you know, I kind of prefer a little more to it. I think there are different ways where you can control for certain things, but, you know, to be honest, I want to be able to create better looking mockups. Like, I just think, me personally, I think this looks better, and it has more of a story to it than an image like this or like this. Just my opinion. And as you guys know, the images sell, especially on Etsy. Like, I've done so many comparisons and A/B tests with different products on Etsy. And as you guys may or may not know, on my Etsy stores, I only do organic. I have zero advertising done on Etsy. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with advertising. It definitely can help you make more money, and it definitely does help you make more money. I just never needed to because I generated sales organically. And so it actually gave me a chance to test different thumbnails and different pictures. So I'll kind of share with you what I'm doing here. So I have a base. Let's go ahead and go with this one, for example. I have a base, right? And for me, I just used wood. Like, I searched wood, and what I did was I darkened it a little bit more. So you could see here, if I go to elements, you can kind of see some of the things that I've been searching. And this was a picture, like this wood picture. I used it for this mock-up here, right? And what I'll do is I'll click on the image, and I have all these different elements, and I'll add them in. But what I want to do is also, I want to have an image of the product, and I want to tell the sizing of it. Like I said, sometimes it could be a little confusing for some viewers or for some for some customers, and I want to be able to depict that really, really quick. I want them to know how big it is. Some of them might think it's drawn to scale, so I actually have here not drawn to scale, right? Now, I'm kind of debating on the different background colors because they could kind of mess with the font. So, like, if I go with a white style font, it could be a little bit brighter, but it might not be perfect. So I think sometimes I might go with one of these effect types and just make it a little bit more visible. That's a viable option as well. I have different options, but if you want to set this up and you want to set it up for free kind of with yourself, I would go to Canva and I would search some sort of like wooden background. So I typed in wood here, and you could see, like, we'll create one from scratch right here. And just ignore my shirt mock-up real quick. Just ignore that. But let's go ahead and pick like this, for example, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stretch it past these borders, right? So you could see in the image there's like this border all around. I'm going to stretch it past it. And the way I'll do that is I'll just crop the section that I want, kind of like this, all right? And I'll take this and I'll drag and drop it, kind of like that. And now I have an image, but I do think it's a little bit too bright in the middle. So I can go here and I could do two things. First, I could search shadow, right? Excuse me, my throat's a little raspy, a little dry. But anyways, I can take something like this and extend the size, kind of like that. I can do that if I wanted to. Now, this might not look perfect right now, but it will look better. I'll show you. So, I have the wood, right? Now, the next thing I need to do is get my measurements. So, I'm going to copy like 36 inch here, right? And the cool thing about this, guys, is because this is a darker background, I can go with a lighter font text here. So, I can go with light here, right? 36 inch. And I can get my little line here. And for the line element, you can literally just go on Canva and you could search here line like this, and you could see which kind of one you like. I'm using this one. Obviously, you have to have a pro account for it, but that's what I'm using. And here, same thing. I'll just go over here, copy, okay, and enlarge it, maybe make it white as well. And the only reason why I'm making it white, like I said, is because the background is already dark. If this is dark as well, it's not gonna, if the text is too dark, it doesn't look too good, right? And so I could take it kind of like this, and then I'll just take my product, right, and I'll just slap it on right here. And notice how my image has a border shadow to it, right? So in this video, I am going to make another one of these as an example, but 36 inches, 18 inches, and this is kind of what it is here. And I could, if I need to, if I want to add other things just to lighten up the mood, like let's say I want to add a notepad, what I'll do is I'll type in notepad, and then I'll write top, right? So I'll write top on Canva, and it will give me other things like from a top point of view. I could go over here and I could type in coffee top, right? Just like that. And so you can see here, I have different options for a cup of coffee. So I can take this and put it here, right? And I could actually look for something a little more realistic. So I can go to photos here and I could see. Now with the photos, I might have to do some cropping and some editing. So if I wanted to get this, I'd have to like remove background, for example, and just wait for that to kind of process. Now keep in mind, if this is something you are going to go with, you're going to have to do a little bit of edits every single time. That's kind of the benefit of having one of these softwares, to kind of just place an image and it will create a mock-up for you. One of the things that deterred me, and I hated personally, using in the very beginning when I print on demand journey, Printful and Printify, is because their mock-ups, to be 100% honest, are really not that good. They're just not, in my opinion. They look so bland and so normal. I mean, they just don't look ideal to me. But I could take something like this coffee cup, and you could see here, after the background is removed, I can add it here. I can do the same thing here. I can type in, let's say, keyboard top, right? Something like that. And I could look for an option of a keyboard. So like, let's say I wanted this keyboard here. I can take this, I can hit edit image, background move. And by the way, this is actually a, what's it called? A mock-up on its own, right? So that's an option as well if I really wanted to use it. But when this removes the background, right, it's got some pens here or pencils. I was actually looking more for the keyboard. So for this, what I would have to do if I'm actually going to use this, I would have to take this and remove everything like in a paint application or something like that, just to make it look a little bit more clean, right? But you guys kind of get the point. It would look something like this. It's not perfect, obviously, but I would put it like somewhere here, something like that. I personally am not going to use it, but you get the point. And honestly, you don't need something too crazy. You can leave it kind of the way it is like this. And there's, like I said, different options. So I can take this. Let me just go over here and let me take this text that says not drawn to scale, and I can make this white and move it all the way to the bottom. And that could be a decent image right there. If you are scared of people like stealing your image, the thing that you can do is you can type in like magic mouse top, something like that. And that'll be the mouse for the Mac. You could put it like right here. And then you could go over here and type in wireless keyboard top, something like that, and find the keyboard that kind of matches the style. This is, I don't know if that's the best looking keyboard. Let's see if there's a different one. Let me get rid of this, and let's see this one. This one looks a little bit better to me. I could take this and add this kind of like that. That will give people some kind of like point of view as to how it might look, and you can kind of place it where you want. Now, once again, it is relatively custom, so that's an example. All right, so there's different examples for the desk mats, and like I said, that's what I'm doing here, and I'm creating a store just desk mats, like just straight up desk mats, which I think is pretty cool. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you real quick this example for a t-shirt mockup. Now, once again, Placeit has a bunch of t-shirt mockups that you can use for free. If you click the link in the description, sign up to the software, you do have free mockups. The way to filter for the free is you go over here to the front page, and I think, well, there used to be a section here that's free. I know that they have these little banners on top of them that are free. I think because I have the premium account, it doesn't show. But you guys let me know, because, yeah, I have the premium account. So you could see here, I have the unlimited account, but I have a paid subscription, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't, you probably have a section here that's free, or it'll show like a little banner on the corner if it's free or not. But regardless, that's another option. I'll leave Placeit in the description box down below. And the best way, the cool thing about Placeit is they are really good when it comes down to shirts. So if you're doing shirts, hoodies, any kind of clothing, they are really good at that. So there's tons of them. I mean, we have best selling. This is the best selling ones. Let's see. So these are the best ones for shirts. So many. Okay. And all it takes is you click on the image, and then you have your design uploaded to the image. It takes a little bit to load. There's a lot of people using the tool. And this was the image from when I created that other one. I could go over here, hit upload. I could find some sort of, design that I have. So like this one, let me go ahead and move this upward, which is kind of funny of a design to put on a bodybuilder type guy, but hey, it's an option. And then something like that, right? So you can make that work. But regardless, I'm going to show you kind of my whole workflow now when these products are created, what I would do or how I would go through this. But before I do, actually, let me download this and put it right here. So I'm going to go over here, hit download, regular size, and I'm actually going to upload it to my Selfie store because I think I like the way that this turned out. So yeah, you can make your mockups as simple or as complicated as you really want. I'll just take this image, drag it and drop it here, and there we go. We have a decent image. Now, that's taken care of. I'll hit save, and I'm actually going to create one in front of you guys live. So this is the image that I created during the first tutorial where I kind of showed you guys how to create the image and things like that. And this image here is a size of 1024 by 512, right? So that's what I'm going to kind of go with for Canva. So I'm going to pause the screen real quick, and I'm going to create an empty canvas here on Canva. All right, guys. So here I'm going to be using some of the Fantasy Labs elements that I've added. You guys are aware of fantasylabs.com, so it's kind of like a little app that I put together. Basically, if you want to get access to the downloads that I've created, the different graphics, the different images, you can access them. We have over 2,500 elements on there now, so we've been rolling pretty hard on there, adding different graphics, adding different images, adding different variations of images. I mean, so many different cool things. And what I've been doing is just making some custom t-shirts, some custom things like that. This was a custom design that I created on YouTube, actually, where I created basically a tutorial on how I created this design, because it didn't originally look like this, but I like the way that it kind of looks. I feel, it's like a collage kind of thing, which is pretty decent, pretty cool. And I actually could look through a lot of my designs. I mean, I have so many that kind of fit this kind of spectrum, or I've created, like I said, so many different things here live, so it's pretty cool, I would say. But yeah, so I would take, let's just say I'm going to take something like this, and let me move this. First of all, let me remove the background here, edit image, background remover. It will look a little bit cleaner, and you could make these collages. I've been experimenting recently, creating like different collages where I mix a bunch of these elements together and turning it into a product, and it actually works pretty well, surprisingly. I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier. I know I've done some collage work in the past, but it looks pretty decent. Here, I'm just coloring over the text because I do kind of want the text to appear. It's part of the design. Sometimes, and this is kind of my one, not beef, but the thing that I don't enjoy about Canva's background remover is it doesn't always work the way I want to, but it's still very good. You know, it's still really good. So here I kind of have what I want showing now, and yeah, this is pretty decent the way I have it. So here, let's just say this is what I want my mouse pad or desk mat or whatever you want to call it to look like. I'll just take this and I'll just download it. But when I download it, I'm going to download it in the largest size possible. I am going to have to upscale it by nature, like by default. Clearly not all the elements have loaded just yet on this, which kind of is a little bit annoying, but once again, these are things that you just got to deal with when it comes to Canva. So once it downloads, I'm going to upload this into Luminar, which is one of the tools that I use to upscale images and make small edits to them in terms of color, erasing things that I don't want, whatever the case may be. And so I'm going to increase the size of this real quick. And by the way, I can upload this into Redbubble as well. So this will work if I want to sell desk mats on Redbubble as well. So I'm going to take this image real quick, and I'm just going to drop it into my Luminar. I'll leave a link in the description for the cheapest place you can get this application. I get free upscales, so I go over here, and the reason why I get free upscales is because I have a subscription to the software, right? A lot of people have to pay for their upscales, but I use upscaling maybe 50 to 100 times a day. I do it all the time. I use it all the time, and it's super effective. And so this image here, I'm 4xing this. So this is going to be at the very least, I think like 12,800 pixels, something like that. Yeah, 12,800 pixels by 6,400. That's really big. All right, I'm going to export that, okay, and give that a second, and we'll just call this Greek gods for the sake of the video. We'll save that and give that a second. Let it export, and let's just wait here. And also, I think I created a design like this in one of the courses that I'm going to release, creating epic AI art, I believe. I think I did, yeah. I just didn't. It was a video that I recorded within the course. But regardless, so this is the original image at 3,200 pixels, and this is the larger image. So let's click on the larger image. You can see how large it is and how graphic it is. I can go over here, right? And I can go to print on demand, add a new product. Then I'm going to go over here into accessories. I'm going to select the gaming mouse pad, and I'm only going to select the one that I want to sell, which is the 36 by 18 inch, right? And I'm going to go over here, drag and drop, and boom. So this could be like a mall for desk mats, right? That could be the products that I'm selling. Everybody, you know, you could do what you want when it comes down to the products that you want to sell. The image is large, so give it a minute to kind of load, right? And it's fully loaded. Okay, the DPI is pretty good, 348. Okay, we'll leave this the way it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit continue here. Okay, and so now it's creating the mockups. I can create a name, create a product description. I actually created a full SEO guide. If you guys want to see the SEO guide, I'll leave a link in the description box down below to figure out how to set the right title, how to set the right description. I'll just do a basic one for this video. This is not SEO implemented. This is not SEO research, but I'll just do a basic one here. So I'll type in Greek God collab desk mat. Once again, this is not SEO optimized. This is just simply filler text for the video. And you could see here, once again, that we have our empty mockup here, right? And so this is okay, but it's not perfect. I can have better ones. And honestly, I wouldn't be proud of my business if I only released this in this image. Like, that's really not something to be proud of, in my opinion. So I'll hit save product here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to Canva, and I already have this image downloaded, so I'm going to go back to the mockup that I created before on my desk mats. All right, so I have all these different mockups, which are pretty cool to use, I would feel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and just remove it real quick, right? So you can see kind of what it looks like. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to upload the actual image. So I'm not going to upload the really big one. I'm going to upload the 3200 pixel one. The reason why I really needed to upscale it, guys, is because if it's 12,000 something pixels and I uploaded it to the machine, it's going to print out at 12,000 pixels, which is a high DPI. The mockup here does not look that clear. Like, it does not look good. I can't use this. You know, it's going to hurt my business. If I'm paying for ads, a customer comes to this and sees this, they're going to be like, is it going to really look this bad when it's printed? I don't want to deal with that. So what I'm doing is I'm adding it here. Now, I'm not going to just add the image here like this. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to search for a frame, okay? And I'm going to click See All here, and I'm looking for something like this. Now, I'm actually going to drag this kind of like that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the image that I have here and add it right there. And then what I'm going to do is, let's see, this frame is a little bit smaller, so I'm going to have to rework this, okay? I'm going to have to rework this. I'm going to have to take this, create an empty, and you guys see this. It's not always 100% perfect all the time, but this is part of the game, right? So I'm going to go over here, hit download on this one, and the reason why I'm doing this is because it's cutting off the art. I don't want customers to get the wrong idea. I have to make sure that the mockup looks as accurate as possible in reference to the actual product, right? So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to drag it right here, and I could play around with how it looks. So I can, like, let's say for example, place it like this, right? Maybe enlarge it ever so slightly and move this to the right hand side, kind of like that. Maybe even a little bit more, and move it just like this. I think that looks pretty good. And I'm gonna hit done. Okay, so that's my mockup, and that doesn't look too bad, right? So I can take this and I can hit download, and the mockup does look a little bit decent, and I could save this the way it is. The one thing I could do is I can search here shadow border, and let me get out of frames and search at all. And I could place this border shadow on the bottom, right? Kind of like here. And then position this to the back and then move it up one. It gives just a tiny bit of emphasis. It's very hard to notice, but it does give a tiny bit of emphasis to the actual image. And it's not terrible. You know, it's not terrible. I can move this make it 90 degrees. And I can move it right here. I can make it a little bit smaller. And I can subject it, move it backwards, and then front just a little, and something like that is pretty decent. It is a little bit too big, that's why it kind of shows a invisible line, but that looks pretty good, right? So that could be the mockup that I'm going for. I can go over here, hit download, right? And if I want to, actually, I can make an alternative to this. I can duplicate it, get all this stuff out of the way, right? And I could take this, increase the size just like that, and get rid of this actually, because there's no other, actually, you know, I'm going to keep that, all right? And I can increase the size here just like that, and leave this kind of like this, and then go for the image that I created here, copy this, add this here, and then add this right here. Right, so something like that. Hold on. Nope. I'm going to have to lock this element. There we go. Nope. Okay, didn't expect for that to happen. Let me move this. I do not like, that is one of the things when working with frames that you kind of have to deal with. Oh, I already have it there. I thought I didn't have it. All right, so let me just push this to the back then and move it forward. Then I can delete this keyboard, get rid of this. And this is okay. It's not too bad. And I'll go ahead and position this to the back. And that's pretty decent. We can make this smaller, kind of like this. Move this here. And yeah, it's not too bad, right? So something like this will work pretty decent. I'll go ahead and save this as well. So copy the original, both of these, save, download. And now I've kind of amplified the mock-up game on my store, if you will, right? So we'll give this a second, and I can take these and I can put them on Etsy as well. I could put them on different things, on different platforms. Obviously with Etsy, my pricing strategy has to be different, okay? And I think that's one of the benefits of coming to this YouTube channel. We talk about a lot of different things. Pricing is one of the games that you got to worry about when you're playing with Etsy, because you are directly competing on a marketplace. So keep that in mind. But I'll take this here and I'll kind of paste it right here. And let's go ahead and hit save product, and then let's look at how the store looks. I think it should present all the different mockups here. Yep. And what I would do is actually, I wouldn't keep this style mockup anymore. I would have to make all my products on my store maintaining the same style mockups, and especially as the front product thumbnail, because visual aspect and visual organization is really important. And I want customers to come to my page and, like what they're seeing. You know what I'm saying? So that's important, but there's different images here. I think it looks like a decent mock-up, pretty cool. And yeah, overall it looks pretty decent. So obviously I'm going to have to shift the pricing. I'm going to have to clean things up, but I figure, let me go ahead and make this $45 real quick. And yeah, it's good. I think over time, with the right marketing, the right work to this, I think like a good amount of products for a store like this is, I wouldn't stop unless I had about 4,000 designs. I know that sounds extreme to some people, but what would happen is I don't have to, I already paid for the yearly subscription for this anyway. I couldn't pass up my 40% off discount, which, by the way, if you guys want it, link will be in the description in the free members area. But paid for a yearly membership on the big plan. I think I paid about, I think the cost was like $2,000, close to $2,000. And this store is going to make me at least $40,000. So, $2,000 is not much of an investment. But what I'm going for is I'm going with organic traffic for this store. I'm not really shooting for ads. Now, I will pay for ads, and I always have an ad strategy. But I want the main driver to be organic traffic, so that after about 4 to 5 years, after I've made a good amount of money from the store, I'll sell it, right? And that's kind of how I play the game here. So that's pretty good. And like I said, visual aspect is important. So I think I'm going to have to get rid of this mock-up. I'm going to have to make them all the same. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned a lot. I'll leave all the different resources in the link below. And you can think of this as like a masterclass to creating mockups. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye.